What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about rest periods, their importance for building strength, and also how you can maximize them and make the most of your time. One of the biggest mistakes I see with people in the gym when they're trying to gain strength is simply that they're not resting enough. They're not allowing that recovery so then they can perform their next set at high enough quality to then build strength, etc. So I guess first of all, we should look at how much we should be resting in between the sets of our training. If we're training a little bit of a higher rep range, something between 8, 15 repetitions, maybe a little bit more, we might want to reduce our rest periods from somewhere between 45 and 90 seconds. If we're training for more strength, then you're going to need more time to allow more recovery so you can perform at that higher level of intensity. You might want to push it from anywhere between 90 to 180 seconds, around 3 minutes, sometimes even up to 5 minutes if we're doing sort of 1 rep max work. So if we are doing a lot of strength training in a session, there's a lot of time spent in the gym where we're not actually doing a whole lot of stuff. We're not really doing anything, we're just kind of waiting around to do the next bit of training. So how can we maximize this time effectively? Number one, we're going to look at how we can improve performance and shorten our time spent in the gym, and that is through something called an antagonistic pairing. So an antagonistic pairing would be when we pair opposing muscle groups and work them in an alternating fashion. So for example, we might perform a set of push-ups, and then we could alternate and perform a set of horizontal rows or bodyweight rows, and we could alternate between sets. And what this means is that whilst we're training one muscle, we could rest, perform another exercise, and then rest again before going back to the other muscle. And we actually get a longer period of rest between working the same muscle group, but we get to compact more into the time we're spending in the gym. So it basically means that we can shorten our workouts, but still get enough rest to maximize our strength and performance outcome. It has also been shown that when you pair antagonistic muscle groups, it helps reduce the effect of fatigue that you might get on working several sets of the same exercise on a muscle group. The second option you can do, and this is something that I like to do if I like to keep my heart rate up and keep going throughout a workout, and also just to squeeze in extra stuff if I'm a little bit short on time, and that's adding mobility in those rest periods between your sets of actual working movements. You have to be careful with this one because, number one, we don't want to do particularly intense stretching because that could take away and could fatigue and affect our actual performance in the sets. But adding in some light general stretching in between sets can actually work really, really well. There's kind of two ways you can implement this. Number one would be performing stretches for a completely unrelated muscle group. So for example, if we're training upper body, if we're doing push-ups, we could stretch out our glutes or do some 90-90 work, whatever it is we're working on, that would be absolutely fine. If we're doing squats, for example, we could maybe stretch out our lats or stretch out our chest. That would not really have much of an impact on the exercise we're performing. However, there are certain circumstances, and if we are clever about it, we can add stretching into our rest periods to complement the strength training or the actual working sets that we are doing. One very simple example would be if we were doing some hanging leg raises. In our rest periods, we could add in some pike stretching or some hamstring stretching to mean that we have more range of motion to better perform our hanging leg lifts in future sets. So that's kind of a simple way of how we can add stretching in to maximize performance. But apart from that, it's easier just to focus on muscle groups that aren't related. The final way that we can maximize those rest periods is getting out of that left brain and doing something a little bit more creative, a little bit more playful, and a little bit more right brain. One of my favorites for this personally is juggling. Juggling's a low intensity, it's a very skill orientated move, and it's really good at getting you into that kind of flow, right brain, non-judgmental, just reactional state. It's a simple thing to add in between sets. It's not going to detract from your performance, and just kind of having fun with it. It doesn't matter if you're terrible, it doesn't matter if you're good. It's a good opportunity to learn, especially if you think about if you're resting for maybe 20-30 minutes in total throughout a workout. That gives you quite a bit of time per week that you can actually spend trying to learn this new skill of juggling, as well as getting in your normal strength training. There's really endless possibilities of things that you could add in here, of stuff you want to learn. You could add some reading, you could add some painting. It's kind of whatever is up to you and whatever feels good. There is a great video by Paul Check on Mind Pump's channel, which I'll link down below, about how to be a holistic gangster about your exercise. And in that he talks about different ways in which you can add more right brain, more parasympathetic stimulating things into your rest periods to complement your training nicely. So those are the three things that I would recommend giving a try to maximize your rest periods. Number one, use antagonistic pairings. Make your workouts more efficient and more effective. Number two would be the use of mobility exercise in your rest periods. Number three is something a little bit more fun, just adding in something a little bit more playful into your rest periods to take your mind and switch your mind into a different state than your actual training. Something like juggling, painting, whatever feels good. But that has been it for this week, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this video. Join the conversation. You can also hit that thumbs up button if you want and support the channel, show that you're enjoying these kind of videos. Right next to it is that subscribe button, which you can hit and join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe to make sure you don't miss out on any more future videos. But that has been it for this week, guys. Have a strong week and peace.